So, today we're going to talk about one of the most profound and for sure, one of the most certain realities in Islam, the Day of Judgment. Now, you might think of it as just one big event, but it's really a sequence of 7 distinct, absolutely world-altering moments that every single soul is going to face. We're going to walk through each one, from that first cosmic blast of the horn all the way to the final, eternal destination. The whole point is to help you really understand what's coming and why preparing for it, well, that starts today.
I want you to start with this thought. Just really imagine it for a second. Imagine being stripped of everything. Not just your phone or your car, I mean your job title, your reputation, your friends, your family, every single thing that defines you in this world. And it's just you, standing completely alone before the creator of everything. This isn't just some poetic idea. It's described as the most definite appointment you will ever have. The Quran is so clear about this. This life, it's described as mata'ul ghurur, which basically means the enjoyment of delusion. Think about it. The things we chase so hard, money, fame, status, they're all temporary. They're fleeting. They can even distract us from what really matters. The real payday, the full and final accounting, only happens on that day. So, let's get into it and understand what we need to be ready for.
Okay, so it all begins with a sound. But this isn't any sound you've ever heard. This is a sound so powerful. It signals the end of the world as we know it, and the beginning of, well, the ultimate reality. This is the first cosmic moment on our journey.
So the angel Israfil, he's commanded to blow into this trumpet, known as Aswar, and the effect is just catastrophic. We're told that the mountains, these things we see as symbols of permanence, they'll just crumble like dust. The very laws of physics that hold our universe together will just come undone.
Right, and this is a crucial detail. It's not just one blast, it's a 2-stage process. The first blast is the end, universal death. Everything just stops. Then, after a period of time, we're told 40, but only God knows if that's days, months, or years. The second blast happens, and boom, just like that, every single soul is brought back to life, standing up, looking around, wide-eyed, as the promise of God becomes completely, undeniably real.
Let's move on to the second moment, because this is where it gets really intense. After everyone is resurrected, every human being who has ever lived, from Adam to the very last person, is brought together in one place. This is Al-Hashr, the Great Gathering.
This image is so powerful because it shows the great equalization of all of humanity. Everybody is returned to the state they were in when they were born. All the things we use to create hierarchies and judge each other, our clothes, our wealth, our status, all of it, gone. You're just stating there in a state of absolute vulnerability.
Wow. This exchange just hits you, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the sheer, overwhelming intensity of that moment. The fear and the awe will be so profound that nobody will be thinking about anything else. Your most basic human curiosities are just completely shut down. The only thing you can focus on is what's about to happen to you.
And even in this massive, chaotic crowd, you start to see divine justice playing out. The arrogant people who thought they were so big and important in life are made as small as atoms, completely humbled. The righteous? They're given a special honor. They get to be in the shade of God's throne on a day when there is no other shade. And for others, the sun will be brought so close that they'll literally be drowning in their own sweat, a physical symbol of the weight of their own sins. After that long, terrifying wait in the gathering comes the moment of truth. This is when the scrolls, the books that contain the complete and perfect record of your entire life, are handed out. And this is where you see the path split in the most dramatic way possible. If you get your record in your right hand, that's the first clear sign you've made it. The relief is so incredible the person will shout, "Look, read my book!" But for the one who gets it in their left hand, it's pure, absolute despair. They'll wish they'd never existed, wishing that death had just been the end.
The main thing to take away from this moment is total, absolute transparency. Every single deed, every word, even the secret thoughts you were sure nobody knew about, it's all laid out in the open. There's nothing hidden anymore. That record is a perfect mirror of your life, and there's no arguing with it.
Now comes the direct conversation, the accounting itself. It's called the Hisab. This is when you are brought before God to answer for the life you were given. And the questioning is so focused, it gets right to the heart of these 4 fundamental gifts we all receive. Your life, how did you spend your time? Your knowledge, did you act on what you knew? Your wealth, how did you get it and where did it go? And your body,
How did you use the health and strength you were given? These questions are the core of our accountability.
And the precision of this accounting is just mind-blowing. The Quran uses the word dhar. It's often translated as an atom's weight, but it really means the smallest particle imaginable. It's to show us that nothing, and I mean nothing, gets missed. That tiny act of kindness you did and forgot about, it's recorded. That small bad deed you thought was insignificant, that's there too.
All right, so after the questioning comes the weighing. Your deeds are literally placed on the mizan, the divine scales, to see what their true value is.
And we're not talking about a metaphor here. The sources are very clear that these are real, physical scales of perfect, unshakable justice. They are set up to give visible, undeniable proof of the judgment. Not a single soul will be wronged, not even by the weight of a mustard seed.
Now this is amazing because it totally reframes our idea of what's valuable. This simple phrase of remembrance, glory is to Allah and praises to Him, glory is to Allah the Almighty, is described as being incredibly heavy on the scales. It just goes to show how these small, consistent acts of worship and remembering God can literally outweigh mountains of other deeds.
We're almost at the end of the trials, but there's one final and perhaps most terrifying obstacle of all. It's the crossing of a bridge that is suspended over hellfire, known as As-salaam-alaykum.
The descriptions are meant to paint a very clear picture of just how perilous this is. It's a slippery path, and it's covered in hooks and thorns that are commanded to snatch people up based on their deeds. And the only light you have to guide you across this pitch-black darkness, it's the light generated by your own faith and your own good actions.
And here's the beautiful, direct connection. How you lived your life on earth directly translates to your journey here. How well you stayed on the straight path in this life determines your speed and safety on this bridge. Some will cross in the blink of an eye. Others will struggle, maybe even crawl across. Each person moves according to what they prepared for this very moment.
So after the gathering, the reckoning, the weighing, and that terrifying crossing, the journey finally comes to its end, an irreversible conclusion. All of humanity is sorted into one of two eternal homes.
And that's it. That's the ultimate definition of success. It's not the money, not the status, not the power. It's simply being saved from the fire and allowed into paradise. That is the true victory, the real, everlasting success that means all the trials are finally over.
So this whole journey, this entire process, it all comes back to what we're doing right here, right now. The Quran urges every single one of us to look at what we've sent forward for tomorrow. And that tomorrow isn't some abstract concept, it's an inevitable reality. So the question that this leaves us with is a simple one, but it's profound. What are you sending ahead for your tomorrow? Let's all take a moment to think about our lives and really ask ourselves, are we living in a way that's preparing us for that day? And if not, what can we change, starting today, to get ready for our inevitable tomorrow?